Jeremiah Zėn here, back again, once again, for the fashion designer interviews, here to interview Time Travel Unlocked. We're about to dive right into this, and this now is the new era.
Okay, model.
What's going on, Matthew, aka Time Travel Unlocked? Welcome to the Chosen Collective interview podcast for the fashion designers. We're more than happy and proud to have you here along for the new era. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you excited for? How long have you been doing this designer stuff for?
Yeah, so I'm Matthew, aka Time Travel Unlocked. I've been doing the design stuff for about 5 years now. Before that, in like high school coming up, I paid attention to style, but I wasn't making too much of my own stuff. And it kind of started with me just like taking two different shirts and cutting them in half and sewing them up the middle and stuff like that, like customization of stuff I already had. And then I was starting to get into college, and I was like, man, like none of these majors sound fun to me. I don't want to do business. I don't want to do finance, right. You know? And I came across the fashion design program. I was like, man, this is something that sounds interesting. Like I've already been like experimenting with creating new clothing, and like let's see if I can take this further. And so that was like about 5 years ago, and it's been an excellent journey so far.
I've seen that too, honestly. Matthew, like I had first met him at the Park City Sundance fashion show, and that was amazing. Like just being there in the ambience, the environment, and to be a part of that event, you know, and bringing your collection and whatnot. Seeing you a part of that, you know, really had a statement, and it really like left a mark for not only me but a lot of people there.
Thank you.
You know, and that just says that you've been putting in the work. You feel me? And from there, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be cool with him. You know, I want to be tapped in with you, brother. And so, bringing you along to this Chosen Collective podcast, this interview, you know, we always try to bring high level people around here, and we do. You know, everybody in the collective is, you know, high energy, high level, and seeing your work at a high level that you have it at, you know, what are some of the difficulties and what are some of the beautiful things you've experienced throughout your journey to get where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, definitely difficult times have come with like a lot of like motivation, I think, to like actually create what's coming through my head, because I think like I like come up with all these ideas, you know, and then sometimes I lack in like taking the step of actually turning that into something tangible that I can share with other people. And so that's like something that I've worked with like just since I've started making clothes. Is like, you know, let's get out there and actually make it, like create something with all these ideas that I have that I can share with other people. And some of the beautiful things for me, it's just like, it's an incredible feeling to be able to like think of something, this idea that, you know, I've never seen before, I've never heard of something like this before, and I'm like, all right, well, let me turn that into something that somebody can actually wear and touch. That's, you know, something real and 3D in front of you, and like that, there's like something like so gratifying and like satisfying about that experience.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, your work has, you know, made a lot of noise, and yesterday we were over at the Leonardo Museum for the Art Meets Fashion show, you know, and just seeing your collection being installed there. So my question to you is, where do you get this inspiration? Like, you have a very unique clothes, garments, and collections. Like, where does this inspiration draw from?
Yeah, definitely from like street style. I love you know, like the punk, the like grunge, the rock, like all of these like counterculture movements that have like kind of occurred throughout history, like always brings in something fun about like defying what's already in place, you know, saying like, this is what's here, like I'm gonna challenge that and like do something new with it. And so like with that, like I think just things that I see that I'm like, man, I've never even thought of it. Like I like things that make me surprised, you know, that surprise me, like, man, what? Like, what's going on here? And then with that, you know, comes like, just like a lot of like 90s styles. I love the 90s. I draw a lot of inspiration from there. And from like punk subcultures, and like I'm a big skateboarder as well, and like the fashion and skateboarding is a heavy influence on me as well, I think, as a culture that I'm a part of as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of trying to combine all of those things in my mind and then come up with something that's just like completely unique.
I seen that too, because you got like the chains, it's giving like that skater vibe, but you fit that into fashion, which is, you know, unique and cool. And going along with Time Travel Unlocked, where do you get that name from? You know, Time Travel Unlocked, like hearing your story, you sound like a visionary and a leader and a pioneer for your style and your wave and here in Salt Lake City. But the name Time Travel Unlocked, that rang a bell. You know, I read it on Instagram first time and I was like, yo, what is this? You know, like when I look at your work, and I've heard this from like previous artists, you know, shout out to, you know, EHE World, you know, which we previously talked, and as you talking, you know, it made me think about the commonality of like what type of artists, you know, we have involved here in Salt Lake City. It's like when I look at your work, it makes me feel like I have to stop and like look at it, you know? It's not something I just walk by and it's like, oh shoot, like it's whatever, or like it's just art. And so I actually look at it and I'm like, I have to actually stop and observe and check that out, you know? So I want to jump into that, but first, you know, I want you to elaborate more on like Time Travel Unlocked. Where'd that come from?
Yeah, I think I just thought of it one time when I was like, I'm just contemplating like how I like remember the past and experience the present and also experience the future in my head. Like when I come up with like, you know, all these possibilities of things that could happen. Like I tend to have a pretty anxious mind, and it's like always thinking like forward, back, middle. And I think it just kind of came from like, how can I take advantage of that and like think about things in the past, in the future, in the now, and turn that into like something that is useful to me, you know,
That's
instead
so
of
cool.
Instead of being like causing anxiety, you know, because I'm thinking of all these different possibilities, like all these things that could go wrong. Like how can I use that to push from behind instead? And like, yeah, so I don't know. That was kind of
bro, that was sick. Yeah. See, that's beautiful, because like you're taking your mind and you're breaking the constructs and boundaries that, you know, society may put us in, you know, and you're actually thinking about the future, and then you also think about right now in the past. You know, in the past we're learning from it, and in the now we're applying it, and in the future we're envisioning it, you know.
Yeah.
And so just hearing that is inspirational.
Yeah.
So that's unique. So I've been wanting to ask, like, you got anything cool coming for the New Era event coming October 12th?
I do. I have some new looks that have not been seen before, some crazy ideas that I think I'm a huge fan of. Hopefully some other people will be as well. But yeah, I don't want to spoil too much, but we've got new looks coming for the New Era event.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited. You
get hyped. I'm hyped.
I'm hyped too. Like just him speaking about it, I'm like, yo, I'm hyped because his work is definitely speaking for itself. It's rad, you know. With that being said, like the New Era is something we had named it because I feel like not only we're experiencing a new beginning as humans and artists, but people around, if they're consciously or subconsciously aware of it, you know. And I feel like you're a perfect person in the design and the fashion community to pioneer the New Era, especially with the Chosen Collective, along with all these other great artists. So we're looking forward to it, man.
I'm super excited. Thanks so much for having me a part of it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
So where can we find you?
Yeah, on Instagram at TimeTravelUnlocked. Also on Instagram at Matthew Quinlan for more design-related things. And yeah, and at the New Era event, October 12th, I'll be there.
Yes, sir.
Better see everyone else.
One thing I do want to elaborate, one final question. Following up October 12th, what is something you want to give to the youth and to the people who's looking to be in your shoes or looking to like get up into design or things of that nature? What's some words of inspiration you get to? What's something that inspired you?
I think just like, I also like, part of my personality, I tend to be like a people pleaser. I always want people to be happy with me and do things that are like satisfying other people. And that can be helpful sometimes, but it can also be a setback when I'm trying to like be in a creative space and I'm trying to think of what other people want. That, you know, those things like don't coincide as much. So I think like following what you want to do and not caring, you know, that's one way to say like don't care too much what other people think, you know. Like I don't make clothes for other people. I make clothes that I think are cool, you know, and then hopefully other people like them. And I think that's where the best ideas are going to come from. It's not stemming from pleasing other people, but from expressing your own creativity from within.
Hey, my people, Time Travel Unlocked, October 12th. You don't want to miss out. We got the greatest in the house. Let's go. The new era.